We're going to bring it from 25% to 50%. With that single sentence, President Donald Trump doubled tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel, and set off the latest round of a deepening trade war. For Canadian industries, the impact was immediate and devastating. Factories that once bustled with workers are falling silent. In Windsor, Ontario, Northern Canning, the largest food can producer in the country, shut down its production lines, leaving hundreds without jobs. For decades, the plant symbolized local pride and economic security. Now it stands as the latest casualty of tariff escalation. In Hamilton, Canada's historic steel hub, mills are scaling back operations. Entire shifts have been cut, leaving families uncertain about their future. Union leaders warn that if the tariffs remain in place, thousands more could soon be forced onto unemployment lines. But the shockwaves are not confined to Canada. Across the border, American businesses are being hit hard as well. Automakers are paying more for raw steel and aluminum, driving up vehicle costs for consumers. Truck manufacturers are warning of major layoffs, with higher prices threatening sales. Everyday Americans are feeling the sting in showrooms and grocery stores alike, proof that tariffs are not a one-way weapon, but a double-edged sword. As the pressure grows, Canada is fighting back. Mark Carney, the newly appointed governor of the Bank of Canada, has called for a complete tariff reset. Behind the scenes, he is preparing for urgent negotiations in Washington. Officials on both sides know the stakes. If an off-ramp isn't found soon, the damage could spiral beyond repair. The global ripple effects are already spreading. Switzerland, once a stable trade partner, imposed its own tariffs on Canadian gold exports. That move not only rattled commodity markets, but also sent a clear message. This trade war is no longer a North American problem, it is a global crisis. For Canada, the path forward will not be easy. Prime Minister Doug Ford has announced a $1 billion loan program aimed at helping industries diversify and survive. The message is clear: Canada cannot afford to wait on Washington. Businesses are already pivoting to new markets in Europe and Asia, building resilience in the face of uncertainty. But beneath the numbers and policies lies a deeper story, a test of endurance and national resolve. For Canadian workers, this isn't about abstract trade balances or geopolitical strategy. It's about rent payments, grocery bills, and whether their children will inherit stable jobs or shuttered factories. In Windsor, laid-off workers gather outside the closed canning plant, trading stories of uncertainty and frustration. In Hamilton, steelworkers brace for another round of layoffs, wondering if the careers they built over decades will vanish in months. These are the human costs of tariffs: lives disrupted, futures rewritten. And yet, Canada's response has been one of measured defiance. Rather than inflame tensions with reckless retaliation, leaders are pursuing a careful balance, standing firm against US pressure while investing in long-term resilience. That strategy may not grab headlines, but it signals a quiet determination to weather the storm. Meanwhile, in Washington, the mood is far different. The tariff escalation has been framed as a show of strength, a political victory. But the reality inside the US economy tells another story. Car prices are climbing, small manufacturers are struggling, and consumers are paying more for basic goods. What was promised as protection for American workers is, in practice, a tax on American families. Globally, allies and rivals alike are watching closely. If Washington can turn its economic firepower on a close partner like Canada, who might be next? That uncertainty is fueling broader shifts. More nations are diversifying their trade relationships, hedging against US unpredictability, and strengthening alternative blocs. For Canada, this trade war may prove to be a defining moment. It is a test not just of economic strength, but of adaptability, diplomacy, and endurance. Canada's industries are learning to pivot, its leaders are seeking new alliances, and its workers are bracing for the long haul. This is not simply a dispute over tariffs. It is a clash of visions, a confrontation between two nations charting different paths in a volatile global economy. The outcome will shape not only the future of Canadian and American industries, but the balance of power in international trade for years to come. And so, as factories fall silent and negotiations intensify, the world waits to see whether compromise is possible, or whether this economic conflict will deepen into something far more damaging. Canada isn't just holding firm, it's quietly preparing for what comes next. This is True Estate Report. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.